Is that even really a question? What the hell? Hey, ladies and gentlemen. I decided to do something a little bit different today. The last few videos I've done have been pretty serious. So I went through my DMs on Instagram and Twitter and collected questions people have been asking me. I'm just going to answer a few of them. I got like 20 of them written down. I'm just going to kind of jump around depending on the mood and how I feel they flow best. But before we get started, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. Remember, when you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified as my new videos pop up. And once again, thanks for all the support we've gotten. It's been really great. I should go over. I'm filming this in the evening, but it's going to be posted in the morning. But by the time it gets posted, I should be at 11K in subscribers, which is far better than I would have thought I had done at this point. So let's get started. One of my favorite questions, because somebody watched a video where I first got monetized and asked me, well, now that you're monetized, how much money do you make? And I'm going to steal something from Joe Palmetto. I'm going to do the same time sip because coffee is nectar of the gods. And yes, I am monetized, and not that much. I am definitely not a Logan Paul. In fact, I made enough money to buy a new camera, which is why it took me so long to get the lighting figured out. And yeah, I'm never going to make a living off of YouTube. I'm actually pleasantly surprised at how fast the channel has grown. And I thank you for that. So please keep sharing with your friends and let's keep it going. What is my background? My background is, I'd like to thank my kindergarten. Now, I was a high school dropout who joined the Army. Along the way, I attended college, both in class and then later on online, and earned a bachelor's with dual majors in international relations and economics. I later earned my master's in public administration. I retired from the Army after 23 years. And yes, I am very proud of my service. And in that time, I got to see a lot of the world, both good and bad. A lot of time in Europe, a lot of time in Southwest Asia during the global war on terror, which I call my 30s. Some time in Africa, a small amount of time in Korea. Most of it I was on jump status for, which is why I go back to the airborne thing. Because, there's two parts of the Army. There's airborne units in the Army that supports them, right? Okay. Hey, no hate mail about that. But yes, I spent 23 years in. I'm very proud of my service. When I retired, I have worked as a corrections officer and a sergeant in a prison here in Missouri. I've worked in the veterans program and workforce development. I was the director of veteran services for the lieutenant governor of Missouri, where I was involved in an investigation of a veterans home here in the state, which actually at the behest of some family members. And in the end, we were able to create a better place for our veterans. So I'm pretty happy about that and gave peace of mind to those families. Currently, I work for a foundation and work with veterans to help get them VA benefits or increase their or to work on their disability ratings so that they can get health care through the VA. And I work with them with some workforce stuff if they're still young enough and want to work. But a lot of my focus is on trying to assist Vietnam era veterans and veterans from the 70s that are they're not as computer literate. And so much of it is computerized now, which for me is easy, but for them, it's a whole new world. So by doing this, I kind of help out. And they're in many ways, those veterans between Vietnam and Desert Storm are kind of forgotten in a lot of ways. So working with them is kind of nice and being able to help them out. All right. Where do you stand politically? This is a very interesting question. And if I was going to put myself, if I was going to come out and say, here's what I am politically, it would be a libertarian leaning independent. I hate the far right and the far left. I think they're both completely full of crap. I think they're part of the reason why we're having so many problems in this country. I do believe in immigration reform. I do believe in criminal justice reform. And if you watch the video I did on expectations for the Biden administration, you'll see that I really hit on those. And I have a separate video completely on both criminal justice reform and immigration. And part of the reason I do not think we're going to see immigration reform during this administration is just the historical actions of the people involved. You have a vice president who, as the attorney general of California, actually, it is public record that people that have been proven innocent were kept in prison while she was the attorney general. And you have President Biden, who in 1994 aus- authored a criminal justice bill, which has led to more people of color being incarcerated for longer periods of time than any other person in history. So, do I think these people are really going to give us criminal justice reform? I highly doubt it. Although the Democratic Party as a whole and the progressives want this, which is even scarier. Do we need it? Yes. Do we need true immigration reform? Yes. Not executive orders. We need Congress to sit down and come up with a plan to address the 12 million that are in the country already. Because you know what? We don't have the manpower to even find all 12 million of them. So let's come up with a legitimate plan to fix this. Then we can move forward. But we've got to come up with a legitimate plan. And that can't be done by executive order. Because I will go back to, as I stated in the video, we are a country of immigrants. We have all descended from immigrants in this country. And based on my experience, because somebody with a green card could join the military. And in 23 years, I was not a part of or know of any single person with a green card that was ever kicked out of the military early for a criminal act or breaking the rules or failing their PT test or being overweight or all these other things. And I was part of several of their citizenship ceremonies, which every single one of them was very proud and they were very set on giving back to the country that gave them a better life. And that's huge. I kick people out from Ohio for criminal things, from Texas and California for being overweight or failing their PT test or breaking rules. But these people that joined under green cards were so proud to give back to the country that had given them a better life or given their parents a better life, which allowed them to have a better life. So, yes, we do need criminal justice reform. Okay, I actually know who sent this question in, and I thought it was funny. But if you go back to some of my in the first 12, 15 videos I did, I went through a phase where I would do an intro with Mini Stretch Armstrong or Commander Zurg, the alien. And I kind of got away from that because I focused more on the substance of the actual video than trying to come up with great intros. And I think I found a happy medium for that now that YouTube has shorts. And I've decided I'm actually going to explore TikTok. And what that'll basically be is these characters you have Mini Stretch Armstrong, you have Commander Zurg, which is an alien. I've got Captain Caveman, I've got Scooby Doo, I've got the Salty Sloth. And I think we're going to start doing panel discussions with them, just little short videos about politics on both shorts on YouTube and expanding into the TikTok domain. Because I've gotten I mean, you guys as my subscribers really have me motivated about this. Because when I started this, at one point I think it was 3 videos and I had a total of 12 subscribers. And of that 12, I knew 10 of them as family or friends. So now that I'm at almost 11,000, it's kind of cool. And it's grown far faster and farther than I thought it would have. At one point, my goal was just to hit my 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 viewing hours so that I can get monetized just so I can say I was monetized. Well, monetization isn't all it's cracked up to be. And I'll tell you that now because I'm never going to make a living doing this. But the fact that I am where I am now is kind of cool because that means there's this many people listening to what I have to say. With that being said, silent majority, stand up. I beg you, as a silent majority, to start standing up and using the social media footprint you have and you can build to speak your mind and talk about what's going on and talk about what bothers you and the problems that are facing our country and giving your opinion. I will tell you now, I did not think I would get to the point I did with these videos, just talking about my opinion and the stuff that was going on. But here's where I'm at, and you can do the same thing. And if more of the silent majority stood up, we can help start pressuring our elected leaders to start solving some of these problems instead of going out in public and demanding people get more intense or more confrontational. Or no, let's actually start fixing things. Let's start forcing these civil conversations that'll lead to things being fixed. Moving on. What are my hobbies? YouTube, the gym. huge football fan, but it's not football season. Right now, I'm waiting for the draft to see who the Cowboys select. Yes, I'm a Cowboys fan. If you're not a Cowboys fan, go ahead and dislike, and you can tell me your team in the comments. But if it's the Eagles, I'm going to delete your comment, just so you know ahead of time. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, one of my soldiers on my last tour in Iraq was a huge Eagles fan, and that was a season that the Cowboys swept the Eagles 2 games in the regular season and in the playoffs. So that was pretty funny, actually. And we watched the third game when they were in the playoffs together in the company CP. So I got to pick on him. It was a pretty good season, even though they didn't make it to the Super Bowl. But I'm still a Cowboys fan, and I'm a huge Texas fan. So now that I know Sam Ellinger has talked to Jerry Jones about going to the Cowboys as backup quarterback, that's actually pretty exciting for me. Now, when it comes to like this past season, when the Cowboys didn't make the playoffs, I kind of reverted because of where I live to Kansas City because I watched their quarterback play all the way through college because he played on a Big 12 team, and he's just a pretty exciting guy to watch. I'll admit it. So when we get to that point in the season, if the Cowboys aren't in anymore, I'll watch the Chiefs because I like watching Patrick Mahomes play. I think he's a great quarterback. Other than that, I really don't have a lot. I read a lot. I spend a lot of time reading and watching and listening to the news. If you can tell from my videos, that's kind of a lot of these are just a continuation of my normal day-to-day thing. I've always been kind of a news junkie. I've always read a lot, and I'm not into nonfiction. I like history. I like biographies. I like philosophy. I'm a huge Plato, Aristotle, Socrates. I read them and I have read them and read them over and over again. And every once in a while, when I feel like I need to be grounded, I'll go back and read something like that over again. And I highly recommend you do the same because these were the original thinkers in many ways, and you don't have to agree with them. But if you actually see the way they thought, it provokes critical thinking, which I think is something we're losing in our country. Well, that brings up another subject. It's in school because, like as I said, I was a dropout. I never truly enjoyed school. I did okay until I got into high school, and then I just started doing a bunch of things I shouldn't have been doing, and just kind of started disliking school. I didn't dislike learning. I disliked school and the environment. But what I think part of the problem in schools are now is we're so STEM focused on everything that we've lost a lot of the things that help evoke critical thinking, like literature and music and art. And I say that as somebody who I always like to read. I was never very good at music. I suck at art. I'll admit that in a heartbeat. I like art. I have Jackson Pollock prints in my place because I do like art. I know exactly what I like. And I can talk about paintings. I can talk about music. I can't play music and I can't paint. I can't draw. I can write and I can talk. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you just enjoyed this just a little bit different. And like I said, the characters are coming back. They're just going to be on YouTube Shorts, and then I'm going to start a TikTok channel. Give me about 2 weeks because I got some other stuff going on that's got to be settled. But yes, I will start doing the characters again with Mini Stretch Armstrong and Commander Zerg, and we'll talk about reptilian hybrids and why you shouldn't listen to Austrians about politics. And then we have Salty Sloth. He's just kind of angry about everything because they're all wrong. So like, subscribe, let me know in the comments what you think. If you don't like what I had to say, hit dislike, tell me why in the comments. Remember, when you subscribe, click the notification bell so you know when I post new videos. And everybody have a great day.